It was a clear, crisp day. It was nothing out of the ordinary. I was out on the lake fishing up anything I could find. Some days it's old garbage, some days it's litter, other days it's just good old fish. I could see my house in the distance along with our neighbor's housing. I like to make sure I can still see them as they can see me. If you go too far, they watch you. Who watches? I can't go into detail about them, because they may attack more frequently or while you're still awake. What I can say, they are the ones your children cry about when they say someone's under the bed or in the closet. As much as you should be wary of them, they won't harm you as long as you don't sleep or go into detail about them. I catch Waddleby tonight's dinner, a large bass fish, about 10 pounds. I pull up the fishing line, start the engine and start my boat drive back home. Along the way my boat got tapped a couple times, almost flipping it. They were doing this, trying to make me fall in. What's scary about this, is that they attack when you cannot see. My issue is the water below me is almost a solid black during this time of year. I arrive back home safe and sound, grab my fishing gear and food, and head on up to the house. I head up to the shed, and have RO make sure first the light was able to work. I flip the switch, and the light comes on. I open the door and put away all my things. As I shut it, I make sure to tie a heavy-duty rope around a steel plank in the ground, and around the handle of the door. I turn off the lights with at first, nothing. I start walking away thinking they aren't gonna use this as a scare tactic, but how I was dead wrong. They started screaming and pounding on the door almost as soon as I was about to turn away. I jumped and fell back in my tracks. I knew that door was fine, but there's always something about those monsters being able to scare you. I walk in and see my beautiful wife and kids. They greet me with a warm smile and my wife gives me a peck on the cheek. They were all a little worried about me going on the lake, but happy I remained fine. I brought my wife the fish I had caught. She said, "It looked delicious." I replied with, "Good, I'm very happy." After she cooked it up, added a few things with it like peas and corn, with a little bit of carrots, we all ate, and it was soon becoming dark out. My kids at this point knew the drill, and that all curtains needed to be closed before nightfall. My wife and I take the job of making sure the downstairs curtains are drawn, along with our room. All the kids need to do is close the one curtain in their room, and make sure they have the night light on, a light under their beds, and that their drawers were tucked neatly under. As my wife and I start doing our tasks, my kids ran upstairs to make sure everything was good. Everything went silent. My kids would usually be goofing off a little bit by now, joking around as they roll around on the floor, giggling and enjoying their time. Neither of us heard anything, so my wife called upstairs for them to come back down, with to no reply. She starts shaking and I yelled for the kids shortly after. Again no reply. I told my wife to stay down as I'm gonna make sure they're okay. As I walk up the stairs I see the hallway light is on, our bedroom light is on, and their room light is on. So I couldn't but help wonder what was going on. I entered their room very quietly, and then I see it. I fell down on my knees, screamed, and couldn't stop crying. My wife soon called the proper authorities over, and had explained what happened. I couldn't help but sit there on our porch stairs feeling numb and looking blankly ahead. My wife, what a trooper that woman is, crying and bawling her eyes out, but still able to talk to the cops about everything. An officer there does his best to comfort her, and he looks at me and approaches me. He tells me, "Sir, we're gonna need your statement as well." I looked up at him, and all I could say was, "The closet door light burnt out." All you could see was 2 children being dragged away, forever.